Welcome to InspiredScripture.com, where we break down the key lessons of every chapter in the Bible to make them relevant to you. In this video, we'll be talking about Job chapter 29, which we've titled From Job's Description of His Life Before His Trials, 7 Signs of a Faithful Believer. Let's break it down. Lesson 1, Faith. Here Job described what he missed most about his life before his trials. Most of us would miss our family, our wealth, or our health. He prioritized his relationship with God. He described a time when he would walk in darkness, but God was with him, when God was over his tent, when the Almighty was still with me. Here we see something remarkable. We see that Job valued most in life his faith, and because of that, God blessed him in so many other ways. But his faith was what the foundation of his life was built upon. Lesson 2, gratitude. Job described a life of plenty. But this didn't mean that he was guaranteed plenty because of his faith, but rather he gave credit to God. As a faithful believer, we should also be crediting God whenever God does bless us. Lesson 3, discipleship. Job described how before his trials began, he would sit at the gate and people would come to him and he would share God's given wisdom with others. And that is a duty that we all have as well. If God has blessed you with some talent, some trait, some knowledge of the Bible, we are called upon to disciple others and educate them in the wisdom of God per his word. Lesson 4, giving. Job was this wealthy man, but he was not selfish with his wealth. He wrote, "I saved the poor who cried for help and the orphan who had no helper. I made the widow's heart sing for joy." Here again, Job showed himself to be a remarkable man, not because he had wealth or notoriety or fame, but rather he cared about those around him, and he used God's blessings to be God's hand and feet. Lesson 5, justice. Job then said, "I was eyes to those who were blind and feet to those who could not walk. I broke the jaws of the wicked." Now, here Job is not advocating that we engage in violence, but rather he's stating that a faithful believer does care about what happens in society, and we are called upon as believers to be God's hand and feet, to be the voice of justice when there is injustice around us. Lesson 6, renewal and peace. Job said, "My root is spread out to the waters," meaning that his life was connected to the life that we now know to be Jesus, the living waters. When we are in fellowship with God, we are in a state of renewal and peace because we are connected to him. Lesson 7, God's honor. Job said that at a time before his trials began, they would come to him at the gate and listen to him and wait upon his words for his advice. Now, we're not told that we're going to live without enemies or trials. To the contrary, we are expected to have trials and tribulations. But what Job is saying here is that when we're walking with God, even our enemies will respect us. And this was something that Job enjoyed before his trials began. So these are the 7 key lessons. If you want to learn more, check out our website at InspiredScripture.com and please like and subscribe. Thank you.